Hey, this is Stefan with Benevolent Brand. I'm here with Dr. Lynn Brandsma from the University of New England. She's the first lady here. Thank you for coming out.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yes. Why don't you just tell us a little bit about yourself?
I could go for an hour because I'm kind of old, Stefan. As you said, I'm Lynn Brandsma. I am married to James Herbert, president of the University of New England. I have been a professor for like over 30 years. He and I were professors. We weren't at the same university, but we published together and kind of worked together in academia for our whole time we've known each other. And we raised our family in Philadelphia. We have 4 children. Now we have 2 grandchildren. I was born and raised in Spencer, Iowa. People think I'm from Philly, but I'm not. Daughter of a coach. My parents are huge sports fans. My dad was a middle school teacher and a high school basketball coach. Thus my love for all things. So that's just a kind of a quick little summary. Maybe one thing people don't know is my undergraduate degree is in music therapy and music education. So I'm a musician and a music therapist. And then I went on and got my master's and my PhD in counseling and counseling education. So I've had private practice in addition to being a tenure.
A lot of different positions.
A lot of different things.
What's the most challenging part about your role and what you do at uni here?
Most challenging.
You have a very unique position.
I do have a unique position. You know, and I love it. I love the magic that we have here at uni, that the students actually bring. We're in a beautiful spot, but the students bring the magic. I love that. The challenge, this is going to sound probably not what you were expecting, but the hardest thing for me to get used to was realizing that sometimes my presence, whether it would be, it could be at interview, makes people uncomfortable. And it took me a little while to realize that, and that it's just, by association, who I'm married to, I still feel it sometimes, and it still is kind of jarring because I'm someone who tries really hard to make people feel welcome and comfortable. But that is probably been the hardest.
It's position not many people do yet. And one thing I love about being here too is that you and President Herbert are very humble in a way that the position that you're in, once you get to know you, and President Herbert, there's no significance to that position at all.
No.
Because you just are who you are. Your position doesn't hold any more value, make you above anyone, below anyone. And that's what makes you really, really special.
I appreciate you saying that. No, no one is above or beneath. I've never felt it. I know James doesn't feel it, and I hope that the students, don't feel it. Obviously, he has authority, but it doesn't make him any better or any less.
We talked about the most challenging part. Now, what's your favorite part?
Oh, that's easy. The favorite part is speaking with the students. I used to tell, when I was a professor, I used to tell the students in my class that if this were my family, I love my family this much. I really love my family so much. And that I love you guys. I'm talking to people in my classroom. You are right here. You are right here. I love you this much. And then I joke sometimes, like, well, maybe some days. But I absolutely adore our students. They bring energy to this university. They bring energy to me. It's why we're here. So hands down, that's an easy answer.
Do you have one memory that sticks out to you from just a favorite interaction you had with a student over the years? Maybe a couple.
Well, there's one that sticks out for me. There's so many. I mean, there's so many. The first one I thought of, though, was we had a situation here a few years back where James held a town hall meeting because there was some people upset that they were changing the schedule. I didn't really understand why people were so upset, but they were. And so there were a bunch of students there, and James was trying to explain, and students, they started kind of using it as a place to not talk about the schedule, but just to kind of have a lot of complaints. And it was really, really hard for me to sit there and listen and watch all of that. And I remember I was texting my son throughout, like, all right, Dad, it's really difficult. And there was a little tap on my shoulder. And someone was behind me. We were wearing masks, so it was during the pandemic. Someone was behind me and said, I have to leave, but you guys didn't have to do this. Tell your husband thank you, and I'm really sorry that it turned out this way. There was one person in that room who thanked me and thanked James. And that's all it took for me to kind of have a change of, all right, somebody's. And I didn't know who that person was until much later in the year, actually. And it's when we were hosting a hockey team that went to the Final Four at our house, and someone came up to me on the hockey team and said, "You probably didn't know that was me, but that was me." And I cannot tell you how grateful I am. He and I have actually become pretty close, and you probably know who I'm talking about. And because there was one person who had some courage to be a little bit different, that sticks out. I mean, I could go on and on with so many different stories, but quite honestly, the ones that I like the most are the everyday, mundane. Say hello in the dining hall, say hello out here on the Commons lawn. Come and sit next to me, because I usually sit by myself when I'm out and about at things, and someone will come up and sit next to me. I cherish those. I cherish any time anyone takes time out of they're busy to come.
Talking about the gratitude and what you do, my mom actually brought up this couple of questions. She heard something recently about your life purpose and your soul purpose. Life purpose kind of being about your mission, your soul purpose is like what you want to be carried forward after you kind of move forward in whatever career or just you eventually pass. What do you think is your life mission and your soul purpose?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Probably what I'm most proud of is being a mother to my children. I love that. And I hope that, when I'm gone, that they will carry a little bit of me, and forward, and as will my grandchildren. That means more to me than PhD, but anything. Soul purpose. What I keep coming back to in my head, Stefan, is that just to spread kindness. I don't think there's anything special that I have to give or to say to people, but sometimes a small bit of kindness can go a long ways to a stranger, to someone you know well. Sometimes, I'll be honest, sometimes I forget to be super kind to the people closest to me. Not that I'm rude to them, but, I kind of get into routines and I forget. I just feel kindness.
Okay. I'm sure there's one question, just in terms of being the First Lady of the Union. What's like a typical day in the life? We'll finish with this.
A typical day, there is no typical day. For me, I think it's a little bit easier. James, I would say that's it. So he's been here almost 9 years. He's never taken vacation. No. I don't even know if he has it. So his days, and I'm not talking Monday through Friday. I'm talking Saturday and Sunday too. His days are jam-packed. He could be in meetings all day, pick me up, and we go to Portland for an event. Whereas I go to the events, but I'm not necessarily working all day. So my days might look kind of quiet at the house. And then figuring out what events we have that week. So if it's busy school year, then, I'll look at, he doesn't have a social secretary, and so that's me. So I'll kind of look ahead to the week and try to find out what's going on. I don't always get it. And then if he can go, he'll go with me. So it's so hard because we could be having a dinner with the governor, and then the next night we'll be at a hockey game. Tomorrow night we are having a dinner with a board member and his wife. Sunday we're hosting 30 people at our house for a sit-down dinner. The events are kind of nonstop, but I never know for sure what they are. That probably didn't really answer your question very well, but.
Well, you said it's a new day every day.
New day every day.
Do you have any last second anything else you'd like to share?
The only thing I would kind of say is, and I think it comes from being a psychologist, being older, that I've noticed students kind of spending some time trying not to put themselves in anxious situations. I think that is the opposite of what we should be teaching students to do. That we should be teaching them the self-efficacy for how to handle being in anxiety-filled situations rather than avoiding them. And I've wondered kind of when that, and I see it more as a trend, kind of started that, I have a lot of thoughts and speculations as to why that is, but I really wish we could figure out a way to say it's okay to be. That makes sense.
That reminded me a couple days ago when I was at your house, at her ambassadors, when one of the ambassadors said, "Don't be nervous," but it's not about being nervous. You can't be nervous, but it's still acting when you're nervous. Exactly. And James is more of an extrovert than I am. I'm a little bit more reserved, and he's so used to being out, at different things. I guess I'm used to it too, but I will tell you that when I walk into a board reception, I'm nervous. Sometimes when I go to various dinners, I'm nervous. I get anxious. The other night he called me up or I guess it's over at the forum, and I don't like standing up
in front of people like that. You'd think I'd get used to it, I'm a musician, but you're used to it anyway. You know, what's the worst I could have? Really? And I'm not afraid of being nervous. I'm not afraid of being anxious. It's definitely it's part of being alive.
Thank you, Phyllis. I think this was awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you for talking
Yes.
to me. I appreciate it.
Yes, thank you.